Hey everybody, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. Man, we got one hell of a show for you. We're going to talk the Boon debacle.
Yeah, we got an interview with the Shark, Sean Harker.
Yeah, Shark Week wasn't too impressive. We're going to talk about the holiday horsepower drive.
Yep, we got a tech tip on springs.
Of course, Songer says. And then we're going to be talking the Racing with the Stars, what's going on with that. So stay tuned. It's Slingin Dirt TV presented by Joe's Karting. Hey everybody, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV, presented by Joe's Karting. Joe's Karting, your place to race, where the only restriction is how slow you are, or how scared you are, or how old you are, or how ugly your mullet is. But anyways, so let's get right to it. It has been one hell of a week.
It has been just a blur.
Yeah, we went to Boon Speedway on Monday, found out they did not like us doing Slingin Dirt from Boon Speedway, so we stopped. You won't see any footage from Boon Speedway, but it's something that we got to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Saturday night program, there was about a dozen folks wheelchair bound for whatever reason, but they had been at Boon most of the week in the same spot that they had sat all week. And Saturday night, the promoter, from my reports, the promoter told them that they were going to have to move. They didn't. He said, fine, if you don't move, you're going to be banned for life. One of the people that were in these wheelchairs was 13-year-old Hannah Phillips. And you know, before we go into Hannah, the only thing I got to say about Hannah, and I was thinking about this, and I don't think anybody's ever touched on it, and if you've been watching Facebook and you follow dirt track racing, trust me, you know who Hannah Phillips is already. She's like an international...
She's a superstar already.
She's a superstar. How many times have you seen us racers complain or whine or moan and groan or gripe about a track or a sanctioning body? It doesn't matter what sanctioning body, what track, we're always complaining about something. But yet we always go right back to that track. We always subject ourselves to the same thing that
We have to.
Yeah.
You know we have to.
But
we love racing, where else are you going to go?
But how many of us really take a stand and get right up in the sanctioning body's face or the track owner's face? How many of us actually take a stand and speak up for what's right for others? I was thinking about this. Not a lot. And this is where I give Hannah a lot of props. You know, these 10, 12 individuals that were in the wheelchairs, they were banned for life from Boon Speedway. Now, but to credit Boon, Boon Speedway did come out on Facebook and they did make a formal apology, which I don't know how sincere it was.
From everything that I've saw and everything I read, it's your blanket.
Blanket.
We're sorry, please don't sue us. But
Yeah.
You know what? It wasn't good enough.
But what I like about Hannah is, here's a 13-year-old that just stood up to the largest, oldest sanctioning body in racing.
Good for her.
Good for her. And ironically, what this will do for racing is huge, because she will make it a more enjoyable experience in the future for those in her position being wheelchair bound.
Well, and it's not only just being a wheelchair bound, as a racing fan in general. I mean, we talk about this all the time, how certain tracks tick us off, certain sanctioning bodies tick us off, but they all take, we go back because we have to, because we love racing, but the fans don't. But in a way, they do. And now Hannah has stood up and said, you know what, we're people too. And not only just because she's handicapped, but what was impressive was the people that were around her stood up and backed her up too. They're like,
Yeah.
This is total crap. And it was racers, drivers, other fans, able-bodied people, not just wheelchair people, and it brought the crowd tighter. And what I've seen, and I'm sure you have, is what you've just seen on Facebook and the other things that are going on, is it has brought the racing community together and made them start asking questions.
Well, what's a class act also in all this is, I know PJ Pedersen from Crawford County Speedway.
Yeah.
He's going to go out and he's going to get the family tickets out of his pocket so they can enjoy the Denny Hovengate special coming up. There was the Melcher family from US 30. They offered to pay their way in and treat them on a night of racing for the Abe Lincoln Memorial.
Yep.
Marshalltown stepped up, Lee County stepped up, a lot of tracks have stepped up, Adams County Speedway has stepped up. But now I'm going to say something that a lot of you may not like me saying. So,
really?
You got to be fair here. You really got to be fair. So what they did to these 10, 12 people is wrong. They banned them for life. Boon Speedway came out and apologized. But I got to thinking, I don't know how many people were in the stands that night. I don't have a crowd count. But were you in the stands that night?
No.
Was I in the stands that night? No. Were a lot of us in the stands right there at that moment that this all went down? No.
There is video out there.
There's video out there, but I watched it probably 50 times. And you can't really hear word for word what's being going on.
True.
To be fair, you see the promoter with his hands behind his back. He's talking to the guy. And I'm assuming that this is Hannah's father up getting irritated. But what I did notice is these wheelchairs are not in anybody's way.
No.
Whatsoever. But I gotta be fair in the fact that I don't know what was completely said before or after that video was taken. And to watch that video, you can't hear word for word, or at least I couldn't on my Facebook page. I couldn't hear word for word. So part of me wants to give the sanctioning body in Boon Speedway a little bit of a sliver of a doubt, but that video is pretty
damning.
Pretty damning, yes.
And you know what? I don't give them a sliver of a doubt because they've had problems for years at Boone with that certain individual. And you know what? You took me to Boone for the first time.
Yep.
The racing was awesome, fantastic people.
Oh man, yeah.
The venue, it was muddy. They had some kind of uncharacteristic super monsoon rains and stuff. But
4 inches of rain, yeah.
The things that I did notice that ticked me off is that the track promoters and IMCA did not. They charged people to put down wood chips and hay in their pit stalls just to be able to get their car. Yeah, they had to pay for that stuff out of their own pocket, even though they paid an entry fee to have a pit of some kind of thing. I just get tired of everybody nickel and diming everybody, and when it all comes down to, at the end, it's all about money. And we saw, we talked about some of the measly payouts for guys that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars out there to be racing. And for even a fan who's paid that $160 or whatever it was for a whole week of watching racing to get treated like that, it's just wrong. I mean, the way they treat people, they take them for granted, and it'll take a situation like this for them to get some bad press and get some people in an uproar. Maybe things will change a little bit, but they need to seriously, without the racers and without the fans, they have nothing. And if they want to push everybody away and treat them like dirt, eventually that's what they're going to get.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. It's really sad. This was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know what they're going to do with this promoter at Boon Speedway. Knee-jerk decision. Does he need to go? As a racer, as a person that, I've been pretty outspoken in the past. A bunch of our viewers know that I can be pretty outspoken. I would say, he needs to go. If he doesn't go completely, he just doesn't need to be in that position. But you were also talking about something else, and a bunch of you out there were on Facebook talking about this after the Hannah Phillips incident. Has Boone outgrown the capacity for the Super Nationals? Or, in your case, what if we took Boone Super Nationals and treated it like the Super Bowl? You don't see the Super Bowl being in the same place every year.
No.
So you take IMCA Super Nationals and you travel around, go from different tracks to different tracks.
And like I said, we were talking about that on the way here, and to me, I think, number one, Boone is so heavily populated at that, it takes a week and people, they look forward to it, and I can see why. It's kind of like Sturgis for dirt track racing. But you know, like I said, my idea when I was telling you on the way here is I'd like to see them spread it around the tracks, but not only spread it around to all the tracks in the area for Super Nationals like Super Bowl, but do it by class too, to where each year a certain class goes to a different track to run for nationals, and rotate it around between classes, and that way you could do your class on a weekend and fans can travel and see different tracks. Each track get a little bit of more love. You know, I believe IMC has some stake in Boone, you know, as far as financially. So obviously they're going to want to keep it at Boone, and that'll probably never happen. But, you know, there's nothing saying, you know, things can't change if people can come up. You know, there's hundreds of tracks around here. You know, they're not the only game in town. They could change sanctioning bodies. They could come up with their own sanctioning body if they wanted to, and do their own thing. But trying to get all these tracks and promoters together to do that is, you know, like a needle in a haystack. So.
Well, I'm going to jump forward. Now, we have kind of an itinerary here on the show, but I'm going to jump forward a little bit on here. If you guys have been watching my Facebook, if you haven't, go to Buddy Ray Jones on Facebook. It's a personal page. I did come out. I talked to Hannah last night. I talked to her dad, Jack Phillips, the Racing with the Stars. She is going to be the honorary pace car driver for the A feature.
Yep.
So we'll go to the Racing with the Stars later in the show with the format and what we're doing there. But she was really excited, and I was like, you know what? I really, not in a bad way, but
well, we tried to get her on the show, but obviously she has to go to school and things like that.
He's got to work.
So Buddy, you know, you did the Buddy Ray thing and got a hold of him, and
I don't care if she's in a wheelchair or not. She can sit on that track. She can be in a go-kart, and she can lead the racers around the track.
Absolutely.
You know, that it's only fitting. With that being said, as much as we're back in Hannah, and as much as Hannah's done for the racing community in the last 72 to 96 hours, we can't forget the other 10 to 11 people.
Absolutely not. There was more than just Hannah there.
There was more than just Hannah there, and I, for one, would love to have a list of those drivers.
Absolutely. Send it either to Buddy Ray or to Jack Brawl 3 on our Facebook pages, whatever. And I will try to do some research. I did find some other posts, but I had to friend people in order to try to get some of that information that knows who those people are. So we're working on it, but if you know, get a hold of us and let us know.
Also, Dave Archibald out of Harlan, Iowa. He is the 2015 Tiny Lund feature winner in the Bomber division. He's donated a white helmet, and I encourage all drivers, even if you can't race at Joe's, November 1st, stop by Joe's, sign the helmet. We're going to give a helmet autographed by all the drivers to Hannah.
Well, you're letting all the cat out of the bag here at the front of the show, and we're supposed to be saving.
We'll talk about it later. So.
I know you're excited.
Yep.
As you should be.
I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go talk to our sponsors, and we'll be right back here on Slingin' Dirt. Welcome back to Slingin' Dirt, where even wheelchair-bound people are allowed to watch the show. So, Hannah, that's a shout-out to you. So, I tell you what, we're going to get right to it. We got the Shark. Sean Harker is driver of the number 40 Sport Mod in IMCA, number 40 B Mod in NASCAR. He made the big show at Boone. We'll get into it later, but I was going to say this is going to be Shark Week. It wasn't really Shark Week.
No. You guys kind of let me down, but it was good.
It was good.
You got some licks in. If you guys didn't know, we're going to show you an interview that we did with Sean and find out why he was in Plattsmouth, Nebraska. If you've been following the show or watching, you kind of probably already know, but he was called out by the big Mustafa, or the Mad Mustafa,
the Turkish
Terror,
the suntan Teletubby.
Well, you know, I only live a few miles from Plattsmouth, so I had to kind of stake the joint out to see what happened, but lo and behold,
we got owned.
Happened.
We got owned.
And we got it on video. So we're going to take you to a video before with Sean Harker, and then we'll show you some video after. So we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome to Slingin Dirt. I was wandering through Plattsmouth, and look who I found, Sean Harker. What the hell are you doing in Plattsmouth, Sean?
Well, as you can tell, a couple weeks ago, a guy interfered in an interview I was trying to do with Buddy on the horse and stuff. So he called me out and said that I was going to be chicken, not show up here in Plattsmouth today, so I'm here.
Oh, so you got called out, so you're just kind of waiting for the big time, what's his name, the Mad Mustafa, the donut eater?
Yeah, Jelly Belly, whatever you want to call him.
Well, enough about that crap. Let's get down to the serious stuff. Let's talk about your season. You've been racing a ton of tracks. Where all did you race this year?
Oh, we've been all over. We've been to McCool, Corning, Stewart, Mayetta, Kansas, I-80 Eagle, a lot of places. You know, can't remember them all, but we're planning on going to more.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, I heard, I wanted to congratulate you on your track championship at I-80. Did you have any other championships at any other tracks? Or
No,
any that are pending?
No, we excuse me, we just won the track championship at Eagle. We never really, we started off the year running Eagle, but you know,
Eagle's Eagle though. I ran
Eagle.
there for years. That's a tough track, and it just exploded. And how many car count is there is just crazy.
Yeah,
it's more survival than racing. Something.
Yeah, we ended up just taking Saturday nights and going wherever we felt like going.
Well, that's good. Now, you just came back from Boone. How did Boone go?
We went over to Boone for this is our third year going over there, and we ended up qualifying on Tuesday night. Started fifth or last night in the big dance.
And you won your heat?
I ended up running second in my heat, which put me in the back of a A feature, but I ended up having a good enough car. I drove up through there and got fifth.
That is freaking awesome. So, I mean, Boone is an experience. Buddy Ray drugged me down there, and we got to see Boone. He gave me the tour. I'd never been there. I mean, obviously I knew about it, but I just never took the time to go down there. It's kind of like Sturgis for dirt track racing.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but with all that rain, how was the track conditions?
The track was actually pretty good Monday, Tuesday night. The track was a little bit rough. You know, they had 4 inches of rain, I think is what they said they had Sunday night. But they never quit working on the track, and they got it back in a pretty good racing shape.
Say, it looks like they were farming the track quite a bit, more than normal from what I've seen, but probably they had to. And there were some spectacular rollovers and crashes in all the classes. And one guy even had a throttle stick open and went over the bank, and I think everybody's probably seen that on YouTube by now. Well, I want to congratulate you on your championship, your great run at Boone. So, being you're in my neck of the woods here in Cass County, Nebraska, I'm going to have to root for the Shark, and we'll see what happens back here. The Mad Mustafa, let's see if you can make him matter, because, you know, nobody disrespects the dirt track world.
He put a challenge out there, so I'm here.
All right, you guys heard it here. We'll be back with some more Slingin Dirt.
Tell you what, Sean, he's a hell of a driver. You know what, when you see Sean, and I've heard this a lot about the guy. He's big, he's intimidating, he's got those sunglasses on. He looks like a middle-aged, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. He looks like the Terminator.
He's a man of few words though, but don't tick him off.
Yeah, but he's a really good guy. He will do anything for anybody, a hell of a driver. He ain't scared to speak his mind, I can tell you that much. No. But Sean and I did an interview here at I-80 Speedway. The Mad Mustafa, the Turkish turkey, got involved with our interview, and we thought we'd come to Plattsmouth and stick our nose in his business, and well,
how'd that work out for you, dumbass?
Let's just say I took stock in ibuprofen. So we'll let you be the judge. Here's what happened.
And your winner, NMWA Heavyweight Champion by escape, Brian Blade.
Brian Blade, you won. Lucky SOB, literally. And as for you two punks, I-80 speed car drag racers, I came out to the I-80 Speedway a month ago, and you two didn't know who I really was. Well, I'm gonna tell you. As you found out, Sean Harker, you hear me? Not only did I whip your ass at the I-80 Speedway, but I just laid you and your partner out right here in Pleasant, Nebraska. Take your powder blade, you monkey. I'm gonna tell you right now, anytime, any place, anywhere. As you can see, I don't need a partner. All I need is myself. I will challenge you guys to a fight, whether it's outside of the street right now, whether it's in Omaha, I don't care if the Dairy Queen parking lot. I guarantee you, when you and your partner wakes up, this is a night neither one of you will ever forget. November 1st, Racing with the Stars, Joe's Carty, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Me and you. You got up one shot on me tonight. But November 1st, Joe's Carty. Your ass is mine. You won't be the champ. Oh, by the way, Brian Blade won.
Oh, by the way, Brian.
We'll be there.
November 1st at Joe's Party. Council Bluffs.
Sean the Shark Harker, you got it, baby. Holiday Horsepower Drive, November 1st, Joe's Party. You want some? I'll be there, baby. I'll show you why they still call me the champ.
Clean up on aisle 2. Folks, thank you so much for coming out tonight to American Heritage Wrestling. Thank you to our wonderful host, the Main Street Sports Bar and Grill. We invite you to stop by our tables, grab some t-shirts for yourselves, your kids, and I really want to see you all October 17th to see Rikishi, Angel Medina from ECW, and WWE superstar Trevor Murdoch, along with WWE superstar Mantar. Fundraising for Corey for his battle with leukemia. Thank you all for coming out tonight. God bless and drive safe. And wrestle on!
I don't understand why.
It's my fault. I watch WWE just like OCD style. I can name all the players, their moves. I can even watch a match in the WWE and tell you what the guy's going to do before he does it on TV. And so I knew how to take a bump. I understood it. You know, I'm 40 years old. I've been following it for the last 35 years. And I went completely dumb. Well, I guess you could say I went dumb for getting in the steel cage, but I went dumb and I didn't protect myself. And trust me, chain link fence does not taste good.
No, it doesn't taste good, and I'm sure some forearm smashes and a body slam didn't feel too good either.
Well, I didn't think he was really going to do it that hard on the power slam. That is 360 pounds coming down on me.
Yeah, the floor gives a little bit, but not that much.
Not that much when you weigh as much as he does. So it was for a good cause. Your buddy John.
It was.
For those of you that didn't know, Jack's buddy, best friend John.
John Rowe.
John Rowe. John, well, I can't say it on TV here or on screen, but John donated $500 to the Holiday Horsepower Drive to see me get in the cage with the Mad Mustafa, the Turkish turkey. So I did it.
Well, we're going to go back just a little bit because this goes clear back to the pits at I-80 when Harker and Mustafa got into it. And we were talking, and I asked Mustafa, you know, what an extra $50 would get him if Buddy got in the cage. And then John, of course, chimed right in. And then next thing you know, Buddy's like, I'm not doing that. And then the Mad Mustafa goes, we're raising money for the kids. And so you kind of had, John did play you pretty good. So,
Yeah.
You know, however you get even with him is fine, but you know what? It's all for a good cause.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal.
The deal.
Mr. Prawl.
I'm not scared.
You're not scared. So, Mr. Prawl here said if we can raise $1,500 for the kids, he would get in the wrestling ring with the Mad Mustafa. Now, all I gotta do is make a quick phone call, and the Mad Mustafa would pop you like a zit.
Hey, it's for a good cause.
He would grab you by your skull and like throw you around the ring.
He's got to catch me first.
Yeah. No, but seriously, $1,500. You're getting in the ring.
I'll take a bump for $1,500.
He'll take a bump
For the kids.
Now, I did it for $500. He's doing it for $15, but you got to remember, Jack here is sponsored by the AARP. So, with that being said, hey, let's dig our wallets out. It's to help the kids.
Yep.
So, let's
Don't
talk.
sing it, bring it.
Don't
you know.
sing it, bring it. Jack needs $1,500. He's getting in the.
I will do it.
Hey, $1,500 though. You got to take a little bit better bump than I did.
Well, you just never know what might happen, you know.
Yeah, I think maybe they can tombstone pile drive you or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
No pile drivers.
No pile drivers.
Bad neck, but
Oh,
we'll come up with something good.
please. So the holiday horsepower drive, should we talk a little bit about that?
We'll talk about that
Okay,
towards
okay,
the end. You keep
okay.
revealing everything. But what we do need to do, along with making money for the kids, is we need to make money for our sponsors. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
At Kaziski Auto Parts Team PRP, this is where everything starts with our quality control, staying clean, and everything is organized right here in the teardown. At Kaziski Auto Parts, in our Step 2 process, this is where our guys take the engines and trannies out. They power wash and make sure everything tests good and clean so you have no problems for your vehicle. This is Step 3 at Kaziski Auto Parts. This is where everything, again, is organized, put on the shelf properly, tagged right. And if you notice how clean everything is, so it suits you, because we're not a junkyard, we are a recycled auto parts store. This is our last and final step here. This is the shipping and receiving. This is the last part where the part gets checked one last time, so 3 people will touch your part before it goes out the door, packaged properly, and sent right to your door. Kaziski Auto Parts Team PRP. We have over 1,000 cars in stock a year, over 1,000 engines and trannies. Give us a call anytime, 402-731-4592. Any one of our 10 salesmen can help you at any time.
Hey, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. It's time for that tech tip of the week, and we decided this week we'd talk about springs. This is one of the...
You know why we're talking about springs? With all the BS coming out of Boon Speedway, the crap's gonna land somewhere, and we might as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
You could have used that the other night.
Yeah, the Turkish turkey. I'd need something as big as this.
Well, this is one of the things that most people don't really look at, other than I need this much weight, and I throw these in and I try it and I take them back out. There's a lot of technology that goes into springs. You can buy super expensive springs, you can buy the cheap springs. The one thing that I would suggest as far as a tech tip is, number 1, know what you're buying. Number 2, make sure that you get the right poundage. And when you get springs, if you have the ability to use a spring tester, absolutely test them so you know exactly what you got. You know, guys like me who aren't that fast and not that savvy, I don't have access to them, but I think that's a 175. Yep. And that's another thing too. These springs can be really hard to tell what the weight of them is. Now this one is stamped. You can see, you know, I think that's a 750. It says right there, stamped in the end. But you need to make sure you clean the paint and stuff off of those areas so that you can see what you got. Because I've actually put the wrong spring in because my eyes are bad and things like that. And the cars drive terrible when you do that. And like this one is scribed in the end. You can see the 175 on there. Obviously that's a rear spring, this is a front spring. Another thing too is in the winter time, it's a really good idea to put your car up on jack stands and take all the pressure off your springs. Let them relax instead of sit there all year with all that weight on the springs, because all you're doing is weakening them, you know. And you know, you can take them out if you want, but if you can put your car up on jack stands, that's fine too. Or put a crap set of springs back in your car if you're just you need to roll it around. But take your racing springs out of there, or jack the car up and take the pressure off of them, because it will compress them. They just gradually settle.
Yeah, I agree with that. The one thing that you mentioned earlier is know what you bought. In my opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think springs are the one area of the car that you may not necessarily want to skimp money on. Like you said, you got your cheaper springs that are $35-$40 brand new. You've also got springs that are, you know, $60-$70, and I think some of them are upwards of $79-$95.
Yeah.
I don't know. I myself can't afford the $80 springs, but I do know I will go more than a $40 spring. Now, all springs on the market are going to tell you that they're guaranteed within 2% of their spring rate from lifetime. But what happens on a lot of these springs is they'll take a set, like you were alluding to, and they'll lose spring pressure, and they actually, you know, this one must be a 13-inch spring.
Yeah, you don't know anything about those.
Mine's, you know, maybe up here a little ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, I've seen like 13-inch springs here that will actually come in at 11 or 12 inches. They've taken a set, they've gotten softer, they've gotten weaker, they've gone down. So Jack is right, absolutely. Find a spring checker if you can. I know Rosemary Kerr at Speedway Motors. She's got a spring checker, she can check yours. Hunter Weber, I think, in Council Bluffs, he's got one. I don't know why, but he's got one.
Yeah.
I think he can check your springs.
And you know, like you're saying too, and one of the first indications is when you pull it out and measure it, when it's just sitting here unsprung like that. And if it's less than 13 inches,
you got an issue.
You got an issue, you might as well. There ain't nothing worse than having your left rear spring fly out of your car, and you know, they change the rules depending on what sanctioning body you're running. I've thrown out several springs, and it's irritating because you got to either wire tie them in, or
Yeah, I was gonna
clamping
say,
them, or
when it comes to
making
placing your
different spring
springs,
cups and things like that.
one of the things about placing your springs, now when I went to Atchison County Speedway, your spring will be in the car just like this. Some of the cars are just like this, but Atchison won't even let you on the track until you've tethered your spring. So they'll either want to wire tie or zip tie, and it's going to go around the spring cup, and it's going to be like this. Now you don't want to make your tethering system super tight. You want it to sit there and flop in there a little bit to catch the spring. I usually use 2 or 3 on the bottom, 2 or 3 on top, and you're good to go. Now on the bottom of your springs right here, right through here, I usually weld a bolt. And inside the spring cup on the front lower control arm, there's a hole right there. You just drill a hole so when the bolt is welded to the spring right there, you put it down there, that spring can never move. It's not so much of an issue, I think, on the rear springs, but on the front springs, when you're on a rough, ruddy track, or you're up on the jack stands and your control arms come down, what can happen, these will spin and it'll actually send an inconsistent reading to your scales, and it can throw your setup off. So that's real important that your front springs are positioned properly in the lower control arm.
Rear springs, they're flat on both ends, so you don't really have a problem with those. But like you said, it's absolutely, and we actually saw that on my car one time when we were changing springs around and didn't get that in the right spot. And it raises your ride height up, that thickness of that. If it's not in that gap too, it'll lift it up and throw your weights all off. So
Absolutely.
Good point. Like Buddy said, either weld it in, weld a bolt on it, tie it down somehow so it can't rotate out.
Yep.
Doing the bolt trick makes it easy to get it in and out.
The one thing I have told people in the past, we're going into the winter time. Winter time equals swap meets, equals bargain deals on race parts.
Don't buy your springs from the swap meet.
Actually, I have. But what I've done is I was the bushy-eyed young guy, went in, spent a couple $100, bought all kinds of springs. Well, I'm like, I just spent, well, not $200. I spent like $100 and I got like 20 springs. Well, 20 times 50 is 1,000. So I'm thinking, oh my God, for $100 I got 1,000. Here's what happens. I go get my spring. There's nothing stamped or etched in right here. Same here. All of a sudden,
you have no idea what
you have no idea what spring rate you got. The guys that take their craft in this sport seriously are gonna etch and do something right here on these springs. What I like to see on here, like Jack said, it's stamped in the side of the spring. I actually like to see that aluminum tag right here that tells me exactly what I got.
Tag, or even if you got a paint pen or something, scribe it into where you know you can find it, but for quick access, write it with a paint pen on the side of the spring so you can just look and grab them easy too. That works. As you can tell, these springs have been painted and they've been used and abused. These are ones that are found on the back shelf that are no good anymore. So
they look like they came out of my car.
Yeah,
could be.
Could be.
This one might be.
So that's too short for yours. But anyways, You guys get the point. Take care of your springs and they'll take care of you. It's one of the most overlooked things in your car because you don't hardly ever change them unless you're doing something drastic. Take them out, measure them in the wintertime. I would throw a set of crap springs in there just for rolling your car around, and before you scale it, put your old springs back in, and you're good to go. So that's our tech tip of the week, and we'll be right back after we get some sponsor time in. What do you think?
Let's spring into it. everybody, welcome back to Slingin Dirt TV. Tell you what, we're just going to get right into it. Here is Songer Says.
Warning, the related content may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, so I guess it's time to address the Hannah situation and what all happened. And first, coming straight from her father, I must say there was more than just her affected. There was another 4 or 5 people that were asked to move. And the reason they were not wanting to move is because where they wanted to put them, dirt, rocks, fly off that track, and obviously in a wheelchair you can't defend yourself all that well. So that is why they didn't want to move. But something has to be done. I'm a businessman and I have several subs that work for me that do jobs under my name. I pay them, I make a little money, or they do part of the job and I finish it up. And I'm responsible for their actions, their performance, and anything else they do, which I compare to a racetrack promoter as a sub of IMCA. I'm not gonna knock IMCA because it's been way too quick for them to have done anything. What I am gonna address is the lack of respect for any single human being that the man who runs Boon Speedway has. I've seen him belittle people. I've seen him yell at women like they were dogs. I've seen it happen in front of my own eyes. I've seen him tell people he doesn't need them. I don't need all my customers, and I choose the ones I want to keep. That's fine if he doesn't need us. Don't ask me to come back. Tell me I'm not welcome. Well, I'll miss the Super Nationals. I guess I'll live with it. Because quite frankly, whether or not Hannah or her father got grouchy or rude or his facility was abused by others, Hannah had nothing to do with it, nor did she need to be spoken to the way she was spoken to. I understand that they wanted him to move and they thought they needed him to move. Because from what I hear, a few people behind were complaining that they couldn't see. Now we all know those ballless wonders aren't going to come out and say they were the ones that complained. He has taken steps where he's going to put in seating. That's not enough. This guy has got to be put in check by the people above him. I cannot imagine that the sponsors of the Super Nationals are really thrilled about any of these things that have happened. So, I know there's been some conversations between the promoter and some race drivers, and they've said that they wouldn't come back unless the ban was lifted, and his response was, I guess we're at a stalemate. Well, I guess my stalemate is, I'm tired of your shit, I'm tired of the way you treat people, and I would think that others that are above you would be tired of it. We all make mistakes, we all screw up, but a simple Facebook apology is not enough. Not even close. So step up, be a man, admit you were wrong, and make it right with this little girl and the other people that were affected. I don't think it'll hurt anybody's pocketbook, or it might even promote to where you get more people if that's what you're after. But the thing that you should be trying to promote is how to be a decent human being, and quite frankly, you've failed at it.
Good old Jamie Songer. And for those of you out there that want a Songer Says about Hannah Phillips, I've talked to Jamie. I've told Jamie on the Songer Says for the Slingin Dirt, he can't be R-rated, lewd, or lascivious. Well,
Wow, that's a big word for you.
yeah, I don't know how you spell it, but it sounds good. So, anyways, I told Jamie those 3 things cannot happen. He's like, okay, that's fine. And he's done a pretty good job. But with the whole Hannah Phillips,
Yeah.
he needs a week or 2 to cool off because he wants to be
He
able
does
to...
a lot for charity and a lot for kids organizations and a lot for the handicap, and that what happened hit him right in the gut hard.
Yeah.
And he's a big supporter of Boone,
Well,
always has been, and he's pissed basically.
He's pissed. But I don't know if you knew this or not, but him and Hannah's dad's are friends.
Oh, I did not know that. That's even worse.
Yeah, him and Jack Phillips are pretty upset, and he's actually done stuff for Hannah in the past. So this is very, very striking a nerve close to the core Songer. So it's coming, folks.
Yep.
The Songer says
Stay
it's coming.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey, we got more stuff coming up too. You got Racing with the Stars coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be the 8th annual Racing with the Stars for the Holiday Horsepower Drive. It's actually the Holiday Horsepower Drive's 8th annual Racing with the Stars.
And for you guys that don't know, the Racing with the Stars is a way for
it's kind of the kickoff for the holiday.
It's a kickoff of the Holiday Horsepower Drive. It's a way for raising money for the kids that all goes to Children's Hospital. And during Christmas, we all go up there. You have select people. We have so many people that want to do it. We have to just pick people. Kind of, you know.
Typically,
that's what you do. Go ahead and let them.
Yeah, I've been wanting to address this. So the double HPD, as I call it for short, my wife Rachel and I started this back in 2006. This will be the 10th year that we've gone to the hospital. Wow, I can't believe it's been that fast already.
I know. I think this is my 8th year. So.
Yeah. So the Racing with the Stars, it's always the first Sunday in November, and it's kind of the kickoff to the Christmas drive that we do for the Omaha Children's Hospital. Now, we've done some other things in the past, like little Hannah Copley, who lived out in Hastings. Some racers got together, got mom's van fixed. I secured a rental van for free of charge for a week. So we do some other stuff outside of the Christmas season, but our calling card, what we're known for, is the Christmas season. We take care of about 100 families at the Omaha Children's Hospital. That's 40 NICU babies and 60 older kids. And because of HIPAA law, I don't know what sex, what age. All I know is there's 40 NICU and 60 older.
Exactly.
So don't even ask me, well, what age? Because we don't even know. We don't know. So, but anyways, with the Racing with the Stars, everybody wants to be a star. Look, if you show up to Joe's and you race, in my book, you are a star. You're there to help support the drive and to help raise money for the kids. At Joe's Karting, there's going to be 58 lap races. All 8 lap races are $10 per person, with $3 of each race sold going to the drive. I'm going to have 20 celebrity drivers. Of the 20 celebrity drivers, 4 are going to be in each race, and then the other 6 spots, there's 10 to a race, the other 6 spots are going to be the paid general public.
Yeah, what the people have to understand is that it's about the general public competing against race car drivers and the stars. You know, we all want to be a star.
There's going to be a lot of other race car drivers there, but
just because you're not one of the stars doesn't mean you can't come down and compete.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of my funnest memories are, you know, swapping paint with Jack Dover and some of those guys that you don't normally get to talk to or see, you know, Sobbing and those guys. But, you know, they usually come down for Racing with Stars because even though they're you know, a different level of racing than we are, when it comes to kids, those big name guys usually show up, and a lot of times we've had some really big names show up, you know. But just remember, it's about the kids, and so come down and spend some money, you know, do some racing.
Now, the way we get the stars, everybody's asked, well, how you get to be a star? Believe it or not, this is not all on me. I actually, if you ever see me walking around in the pits, which I know a lot of you have, I'll walk up to you. Hey Jack, you know,
got a free transmission?
Yeah. A lot of times I'll go up to a driver. I'm like, Jack,
let me borrow your car.
You know, I got the Racing with the Stars coming up. Give me an idea of who you might like to see as a star.
Yeah.
I go to a jury of your peers. I don't personally pick the drivers.
And this is true. He's not making this up.
No. I'll actually, you know, I'm looking for folks that are well-liked. You don't need to win championships. You don't need to win a lot of features. My God, we've got one feature win in 30 years worth of racing here in a sport mod. So with that being said, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the guys that are well-liked. We got fans. People want to hang out with them, stuff like that. Josh Blom has been very instrumental. Ask Josh Blom. He's always recommending drivers. And so when you see a lot of your northern Nebraska, South Dakota, Brunsons, that's because Josh Blom, you know, he knows those folks up there. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like our northern affiliate.
Yeah, our northern affiliate. He's my northern scout. Yeah. Now, the hospital visit. Now, I'm a firm believer that every year at the Racing with the Stars, I want as many new people as I can get. Now, there's a lot of people that are there every year. You're there, Josh Blom's there.
Right.
There's been years you haven't been a star, but you're still there at the Racing with the Stars.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you're a star at the Racing with the Stars, I'm a firm believer that I'm only allowed about 16 drivers to go to the hospital that day.
Right.
It's first come, first served, but I'm going to give the first nod to a star at the Racing with the Stars. If you were there at the beginning of the kickoff for the Christmas time, it's only right that you're there at the end so you see this whole thing through.
And I'm going to tell you that probably one of the most emotional things, I'm emotional just thinking about it. Going to that children's hospital is tough. It will wrench your heart.
Yeah.
So if you are a star or if you get to go to the hospital, you better be prepared to have your heart ripped out and then be hugged by some great kid, you know?
Yeah, I've told folks in the past, and you've seen this firsthand, we think we have a bad season blowing a motor or wrecking a car or we're just done racing, and then you walk into the room and mom and dad's like, oh, well, little Joey's 6 and he's got leukemia and they don't expect him to make it till the end of the year, so it is what it is. But, you know, the folks that get to go to the hospital, usually I give the first nods to those that are on the stars. So of the 20 people that are stars this year, those 16 that go to the hospital will come out of those stars, and then if I have an open spot, well then, hey, it's first come, first serve, whoever wants to go. I don't care at that point. It is what it is. But you don't need to be a star at the Racing with the Stars November 1st. Show up. There's going to be hundreds of race car drivers that aren't stars. Look at me. I'm not even a star in the Racing with the Stars. So.
And another thing too is the day of the hospital visit. Not everybody can go to the hospital, but we need as many people to come to Joe's and help prepare the packages and wrap and stuff. All the behind the scenes work. Just because you don't get to go to the hospital doesn't mean that you can't be part of that day.
No, actually, if you want to show up on that day, and we'll be talking about it here in the next couple, or some of the upcoming weeks here on the Slingin Dirt TV. On that day, what's really funny is to watch guys like me and Jeff Brunson in our uniforms, and we're racers. We're gonna race whatever we can, and to race each other is to see who can have a Christmas gift. That one year, I felt sorry for the kid that got my Christmas gift. We were putting splotches of paper.
I was watching Rachel and the girls rewrapping a lot of those at the end. So anyway,
yep,
we pretty well covered it. You know, holiday horsepower drive, Racing with the Stars. You guys all need to be there. Come out.
Hannah Phillips is going to be there.
It's for a good cause, you know. So
hey, we're also I want to send a shout out to Stu Snyder. Stu, you know, we got the helmet secured. It's coming from Dave Archibald. Stu Snyder went out there. He said, hey, I think this girl needs some racing apparel. So he's getting together with a bunch of the Stu Snyder, Stewie, Superman. He's getting together with the sprint car faction, and they're going to be getting a lot of t-shirts sent up to either to Joe's or they're going to be shipping them to her. JJ Rodman, something like that. He's out of Central Nebraska. He drives the 25 late model. He's actually going to be cleaning off a door panel, and he's going to autograph it for Hannah, and he's bringing that up to Joe's, him and her crew in the next week or two. So, you know, it took a 13-year-old young lady in a wheelchair to be the biggest voice out of all this big burly race car drivers.
It's true.
It's true. So let's say thanks to Hannah for trying to better our sport, and she will better our sport because of what she's done. So let's give back to Hannah, and let's really treat her good.
And she's going to make us better people too. She already has. So.
Well, yeah, Hannah. If there's one thing you could do, send this guy some luck. Maybe he could finish top 10 in a race sometime or something like that. You're the only guy I know that's never finished top 10 in an A feature.
You're full of beans.
So, hey, tell you what, we'll be right back next week here on Slingin Dirt TV.